So, welcome. I'm sitting here with David Lynn, and he is the writer of Total Family Ministry, among other great resources. I want to talk to David a little bit and give him an opportunity to explain what's behind this and why this is so important for us right now in the church. David, tell us a little bit about yourself first.
Well, thanks, Lyle. Thanks for having me. A little bit about myself. I have a background in children, youth, and family ministry, primarily in youth ministry. Worked in several churches, done lots of books and curriculums in the area of children, youth, and family ministry. Also have a background in family counseling. Have a master's degree in marriage and family counseling. And so I have those dual backgrounds, I think, that have helped me do this total family ministry. Did a lot with youth specialties, wrote a lot of books with them, did a lot of speaking. I've had the privilege of speaking, I think, in 39 states, doing on children, youth, and family ministry. And with that background, I have put together Total Family Ministry with my wife, Kathy.
Fantastic. Explain a little bit. What is that? What is Total Family Ministry?
Well, for a lot of years, I thought I was doing some family ministry, but I really didn't take the family seriously. The Total Family Ministry takes the total family seriously. It really believes that the family is the primary place where faith formation occurs. The church can only supplement what the family is doing, for good or ill. And so Total Family Ministry really helps us create a partnership between the congregation and the home, because we need both of those.
Well, and so you and Kathy got together, you started thinking, hey, this is a great idea. Why did you write this? What was the motivation behind it for you?
Well, I began to look, we have lots of research now on what works in passing on faith. And what I began to see as I read that research is that we're losing up to 75% of our young people by the time they're out of high school. That's not good. We can't continue that way. So what we found were there were two things that the research says work. There are other things, but the two primary ones are a homegrown faith, taking the home seriously, and equipping the home and resourcing the home. That was number one. And number two is cross-generational ministry. And we need our children and youth need to rub shoulders with adults who can bear witness to what Jesus has done in their life. So those are the two things that we saw from the research, and Total Family Ministry was born.
Oh, yeah. And so why does it come about now? I mean, we're kind of coming off this, hopefully coming out of this COVID era. Why now?
Well, we began writing it way before COVID happened. But COVID brought the home as primary right up front, because we couldn't be in the building. And when you can't be in the building, you focus on the home. We should have been doing this all along, Lyle. But wow, what an opportunity! Now that we've been trying it out and seeing it, and parents are liking it, most of them are. This is a real opportunity. But the other reason that's just as important as being innovative right now as we move out of this COVID pandemic is we need to view children and youth as valuable resources. Research is really clear on this too. Young people need a meaningful role, and young people need to be equipped, they need to be trained for that role, and they need to be recognized for that role. I know you've done a lot in this area with peer ministry.
Yeah, David, I love that. Two things that I hear. One is your approach to family ministry is not asking them to sit and watch something on pre-recorded on TV. Right. Two, I mean, my world of peer ministry leadership, I have said for years, right, that kids are leading or they're leaving. They have to have a purpose and meaning, right, if they're going to be involved. And so to look at this as a way of going, oh my gosh, my kids can be the leaders of this and equipped to help lead. I love that. Um, you talk about 5 faith promises. A lot of us have a little matrix that we put together, but I like this. This makes sense to me. Explain that.
It's a simple framework. Uh, Families need frameworks. Families need structure as they're passing on faith. And so these are 5 simple faith practices. Really, there's 6. We sneak one in, but the 5 faith promises are this. Number 1, we ask parents and grandparents to pray every day with their kids. Number 2, we ask parents and grandparents to read the Bible regularly with their kids. Number 3, we ask parents and grandparents to have faith conversations, to talk often about Jesus in the home, when they're in the car, and when they're out for a meal. The 4th one is acts of service. It's really important. The research says it's very important for parents and grandparents to do acts of service in the community, in the home, and in congregation. Number 5 is eat 5 or more meals together each week. Without these on, without electronics on, and we sneak in a 6th one there, and we say, and other rituals and traditions, because rituals and traditions are important. So those are the 5 faith promises. Families promise to do these practices together each week.
That's so great. I've had the opportunity. I've been going through the resources that you're writing, David, and groups of resources. I mean, that are just ministries in themselves: parenting faith, grandparenting faith, faith make and takes, bringing faith home, families together, marriage energizers, fun and faith, all kinds of things. I mean, it is a lot of stuff. Our church is going to use all of this.
We expect them to do all of it the first week, Lyle. We
Yeah,
do
right.
all of it right away. No. You won't do all of these ever. We give you lots of choices. You get to make the choice of the kinds of resources that you want to use. We give you on purpose more than you will use. We think that's much better than giving you just a little bit, and you're going, wow, that's not very much. But no, you will not use all of these at once.
Yeah. So what do you expect a church to do first? I mean, like all those things I just mentioned, those are whole ministry packets.
Yes, they are. Yes. Well, a couple of things. First, we give you a simple framework that we follow for most of them. And it's each of these has a quick success. They have a starter kit along with a kickoff event. And you could do a kickoff event at a table. We do have a table, a monthly table with activities that you can give out, because it's important to have face-to-face contact with families, with parents, grandparents, and their kids. So we have a table activity. Then we have some events. You don't have to do all of those events. And then we have a weekly activity that you can email or text to families. Texting is great because a lot of families are tech savvy and they like it, but you can also email it, and they can put it up on their phone as well on their email. And then we have some events. So we have that framework. The first thing that if I were getting this cold, I would just look at fun and faith. That would be the first thing I would look at, because we have all kinds of activities. You won't even use all of those. But I would do a couple things during COVID just to get you started. For example, there's a thing called, we have each year, we'll give you a shenanigan. And the first one is a bednik shenanigan, where you eat a meal with your family in bed. So parents and grandparents do some finger foods and just have fun, and you can pray. You can practice those 5 faith promises in your bed. Kids, including teenagers, will love it just because it's something so different. Now, no, they wouldn't love this if you were doing youth group. Youth would, but they act differently in their home than they do in youth group. So I would do bednik. One of my favorites is the faith takeouts. And you put these resources in a sack, and we have all kinds. We have some for singles, some for grandparents, some for parents with little ones, with elementary school, with middle school, high school. So we have all kinds of resources. You put them in a sack, and then they just pull one out every day, and they can do that. Another one I would look at would be a home visit. I really think we need to do more home visits as we pull out of COVID. If the home is the primary place where faith formation occurs, we need to be in the home. And we give you a little kit and you put it in a pizza box and you go and you can do a front porch visit. And the pizza box is, you can get those for free. You can get them donated. It's a game that they can do as a family. So that's number one. I would just look at just doing a couple of those right now, just kind of feeling your way through those. You won't use all of those, but a couple of those could be really fun. The second thing I would do is faith make and takes. And you can start that this summer as you come back into the building. And we have 6 of those because there's 5 faith promises, but we add a ritual and tradition activity. You just do it every other month. Young people, every time I've done this, and we've tested these out for the last 10 years, we have young people do the entire thing. You need to equip the young people with some training to do it. And they can partner with an adult with them. But I have young people starting in 4th grade. They do everything at the table. So the first one I know is prayer squares. So you cut out these little squares, and you don't, the people do. They cut them out and they tape them up, and they're a cube. And you roll the cube, and whatever prayer comes up, you do that prayer. And we have a number of those. Young people staff the table. They have a lot of fun. It gives them a meaningful role, and then you don't have to do it. So faith make and takes, they're easy. It's only every other month. It introduces your congregation to the 5 faith promises, easy to do. The second thing, or the third thing, that was the second one. The third one is we have a parenting faith, a grandparenting faith, and a bringing faith home resource. I would pick one of those. Parenting faith is the total family. We have something for under 8 and over 8 years old, 8 to 18, with the weekly activities. We have the table, we have a starter kit. Each of those has those components. You won't be able to do all 3 of those at once, though. So parenting faith, grandparenting faith, bringing faith home, that's for families with little ones. So if you have lots of families with toddlers and preschools, I'd start with that one. If you're an older congregation, I would start with grandparenting faith and equipping grandparents to pass on faith. And your average congregation, I'd start with parenting faith. Just don't try to launch all 3 of those together, because it's way too much.
Way too much.
The
David,
fourth,
go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry. The fourth one is marriage energizers. I believe it's really important that we strengthen marriage. Don't do this one. Find a young couple who is excited about volunteering, meet with them, show them the curriculum, turn them loose. Let them do that. And finally, the fifth one is families together. This is for somebody who's really motivated to do family ministry. This is a little different. In this, you meet with families 10 times a year. You don't meet in December and you don't meet in July. And each activity, it's about an hour. We recommend you do it in the home and you have a meal. So that's about an hour and a half. And you play, pray, grow, and serve. Each session does that. And we have it's a 5-year program. So you have 5 years of basically family small groups. You get together for 4 to 6 families get together, because family really is the ultimate small group.
Fantastic. What I was going to mention was, and I, learned a lot from you, David, but one of the things that you say constantly is don't expect families to do anything that they haven't first practiced hands-on. And so I love about this is it's not just, send something to them and hope that they do it. You have multiple ways to kind of help your families get experiences with them through events and at the table events and home visits, whatever it is, to teach them and help them do that.
Practice is important. One of the things we do have in each of the parenting faith or grandparenting faith or bringing faith home is 15-minute practice sessions. 15 minutes with your family is what we call it. I like to, after a worship service, have little finger foods, little snacks, and just take 15 minutes. That's it. 15 minutes. We give you the activity and you just practice that. That's it. That's all you do. Then you go home. 15 minutes with your family, because we don't want them to not have the skill, not to practice those skills.
Yeah. Yeah. The other thing is, and you'll learn this as you get to know these materials. This is not a homework assignment type. This is just darn fun stuff, and that's one of the geniuses of David's work is it's very playful and fun, and at the same time very meaningful. When should a church start? I mean, should you start like September when everything starts, or what's your suggestion?
You can start this anytime. Probably wouldn't start it at Advent, but you can start this at any time during the year. You want to start now, like I said, with those fun and faith activities, I'd start. If you want to kick off parenting faith or grandparenting faith this summer, I'd start this summer. Great way to get a few families going with it. Then you can launch it bigger as you go along. This is not a traditional after Labor Day kickoff kind of thing. You can start it anytime you want.
Like any resource or program or things, there's always some challenges that churches face. What do you see that they might be some challenges for them?
Well, here's the ones I face. First, you have what I call the inertia of the status quo, and the status quo is we've never done it this way before, or we tried something like that family ministry back then, it didn't work. But the inertia of the status quo says let's just keep doing what we've always been doing. Listen, the future of the church is different than the past. We have got to change what we're doing. So here's a couple of challenges that I face. First one, it's your job to pass on faith. So I'm the paid professional or the professional volunteer. I've done that as well. It's your job to pass on faith. Not my job as a parent or grandparent. The next one is getting dads involved, because it's important to get dads involved. I hear, well, that's my wife's department, and so I have to gently say, wow, we all need to be passing on faith to our kids or to our grandkids. Another one is, well, from parents, I didn't go to seminary. You went to seminary. I didn't go to seminary. I didn't go to Bible college, or I don't know anything about the Bible, or this is a biggie. What if my kid asks me a question I can't answer? They will ask those questions. No, you don't know as much about the Bible as maybe I do. That's okay. You're going to need to pass on faith. You're going to do it imperfectly, just like I did. So those are some of those big challenges. There's a couple things I do to overcome those challenges. One is prayer. Number two is planning. Number three, do this as a team. Don't do this by yourself. You won't be able to do this by yourself. Have a team of people that you do this with. The next one is key allies. It's really important that you identify the people who are going to be on your side, your key allies. Identify the people that you're not sure about, and identify the people that you know are going to be an obstacle. And then create a plan. How are you going to get those key allies, those people that really like what you're doing, on your side, and to really help you promote this? How are you going to win over those people that are sitting on the fence? And what are you going to do about those people you know will be an obstacle? You need a plan.
Yeah. So getting started, training, possibilities. How do you learn to do this? I mean, some of it just makes sense, but yeah, always how do you learn?
Well, we've got a number of trainings that we're going to do. For example, we have a how to get going and growing in your parenting faith ministry, that we just go over the basics, but we also give you a workshop that you can do. We give you everything you need, all the materials in that workshop, where you can do a workshop with the parents. You don't have to have you or me come and do the workshop. They can do it. We have the same one for grandparenting faith. We give them a workshop, and the same for bringing faith home. So we have lots of training, and people will be invited to that training. We also have, that I think is really important, ministry assistants. We're going to be available almost every week throughout the year. There'll be a couple weeks we won't, like Christmas. We won't be available, but almost every week we'll be available if you want it. So if you're using these materials, you don't have to come on every week, but we'll be there for you to ask questions. So people can come on uh, and ask questions about the curriculum, concerns, challenges, or maybe they have a great idea that they want to share with others. And that'll be available almost weekly for folks.
Fantastic. I I love this. I'm excited about it. I think it is a wonderful way of not just providing materials, but really providing all kinds of opportunities and multiple ways of
Yeah.
helping families get started and get going on that. Thank you very much
Oh, thank
for
you. Thank you.
hanging in here with us and getting a little taste of what this is about. So blessings, and we'll catch you again soon, I'm sure. Thanks.